But are there any questions you have? Maybe is anyone interested in starting their own business or what it looks like to begin to start your own business? Because, yeah. Anybody else think that they want to go out and maybe even just like help your aunt on the weekend or something, right? I feel like that's plausible for everyone, right? So here's what I did, and don't judge me for this. I might have done maybe, considering the COVID times, would have probably been considered illegal, I would imagine. I was going, I'm just putting it out there. But now you're now legally allowed to do what I think I was illegally doing at the time, which was just going to places because we weren't allowed to go anywhere, right? So my avenue was yoga. I've taught everywhere. I've probably taught at 20 different yoga studios. I've been a yoga instructor for almost 4 years now. So that was my avenue. People in that community knew who I was already. And I've been talking up that I've been going to massage school for that whole time. So now I'm building anticipation amongst the group of people who already know me. And then I just used the avenues that I had. So for me, I think I was teaching at 3 studios at the time. I know I had to leave 2 studios to get actually into massage school. I was still teaching 5 classes a week, I believe, while I was here in massage school. And I just went to those studios first, said, hey, I'm a massage therapist. I'm licensed. Here I am. All yoga studios have a giant block in the middle of their day where they're doing nothing. And they wish they were making money and they're not. So you're giving them an avenue to kind of split with them some space rental in exchange for access to their clients or access to your own clients in their space, which is a great deal. And the split I believe I was doing was 70-30. Yes. So you're in like a boutique setting at that point, right? So price yourself accordingly, okay? So working on your own, you're going to make more money than you are working in a spa. No offense, of course, just the fact of the matter. If you're charging what you charge when the spa is paying you, then you're going to be the extremely most busy person on the face of the planet. Or people are going to be really questionable about what you actually do, right, and why it's that price. So I think, I'll give you. Please ask me direct questions if you're curious. I'll give you the prices. I'll tell you what I make in a month, whatever inspires you or helps you find the benefit of your service so you're not underpricing yourself either, because you don't want to do that either. One thing I've noticed now from being in business and actually going through a business school is my new endeavor. Lowering your prices doesn't actually get you more business. Does that sound crazy? Yeah, please.
I was actually about to ask, would it be more beneficial to charge slightly less than what a member price at like a franchise would be? Is that more beneficial, or would you still charge like a normal
So maybe
price?
Right? So what do you guys know what the spa charges
70.
for 70 for a member member rate, right?
Yeah, but non-members like 125-ish.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like 115 I think at Hand and Stone, right?
With like tax it comes out to be like 115.
114.73.
Something like that.
I actually called and asked recently because I'm changing my prices, so I called the local Hand and Stone and Massage Envies to compare my prices.
Smart.
This is business.
Market research. That's how you do
Market research. So yeah, I think it's actually exactly 114.73 on freight. So a typical, if you're now especially if you're going to somebody's house, one, be careful with that,
Right.
please.
So make sure somebody knows where you're going.
Yeah.
And has the phone number.
Right, and you send out an intake
And the
form,
address.
and you go through the proper channels so that people know.
There's actual special jewelry for us now. They're necklaces that have where you let the police know, like, hey, I have this necklace. I'm going to this place, and if you push the button on the necklace,
Oh, wow.
it actually calls the local police.
Oh,
Wow.
good.
That's really cool.
Great.
Okay.
They probably have bracelets too.
Probably a
but
great investment.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's like $80.
$80. Worth it.
Right.
So so where you asked me before was, okay, a member price is about $70, a non-member price, well, let's just round it and call it $120. The usual going rate for most like one-on-one in-home services are $100 at minimum. At minimum. You could put yourself at 80, but you're gonna find very quickly that all the driving and things you're doing are not. It's not an not an $80 an hour thing unless you live in an apartment complex and you're walking into the next room, and that's maybe a local deal you could give. But in general, I would live closer to $100. What's helped me price myself is actually now having my own location. Gives me a good referral point to, okay, if I can sit here, and I charge right now, my rates are going up in the next year, but at this moment in time, I charge $90 for a session. Okay? For a one-off session without a package or anything like that. So if I'm charging $90 for people to come to me, I'm not going to go to them for $100. But I was very willing to go to people for $100 until I got my own location. The price still makes sense, but for me, I'm not, especially if it's middle of the day, and I do charge people more to go to their house in the middle of the day, and you're allowed to do that.
And remember, you're schlepping your table. You've got to set it up.
Everything.
You're bringing your linens, your lotions, your whatever.
Right.
You're setting everything up. You're getting everything ready, and you're still having to clean it down and bring it
Right,
up
it would
to
be
your
different
car.
if they had their own table or if they're a long-standing customer, and like you said, packages. But if they're going for a
It's
one-off,
different.
it's way
So
different.
I can give both of those examples actually. I have a long-standing 90-minute client. He's the only person who gets a Swedish massage from me because I've been working with him for so long. Once a week, he pays $140 for a 90-minute in-home service. He's 25 minutes from my house. So essentially, I am losing money on this client, but I am putting $140 in my pocket and going home. And he's my easiest client. He loves to talk. He wants to just basically hang out and get a massage. So for that, I have no problem charging him $140. He has his own table. I literally show up with my tube of cream, and that's it. You know, every once in a while I'll bring some tools, but it's really a very simple. He's retiring. He likes his weekly massage. This is something he's worked to afford in his life. Now, as another example, I have someone, in general, it's Tuesday, but they just moved to tomorrow. Every Tuesday at 1 p.m., he's a new client. I charge him $250 for a 90 at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And at this moment, that is my rate for anyone who wants a 90-minute massage in home. I charge $175 an hour in home and $250 for 90 minutes. And people do pay that, which is great. So I came from like waiting table culture. Have any of you done like bus work or delivery? $250 is like a solid day, like busting your ass at a restaurant, right? Like, and solid. And I just made that in 90 minutes.
Plus
So-
your drive time.
Right.
And the
Right.
old rule of thumb was you could charge for the drive time.
Right.
Yeah.
So it would equate.
And so, Ryan,
Yeah.
are your clients at home ever tipping you, or is the rate just
In
they're
general,
good with
no.
that? Okay, because the
In
rate
general,
is
no.
good for
Yeah.
accounting for.
The guy who I charge $140 to, I think, is starting to realize that he gets a very good deal. And he does tip me every other week. He gives me a couple bucks. And that's only been recently. I don't know if it's because of the holiday season or because I'm having a baby. Spoiler alert.
Congratulations.
You're kidding!
Yeah.
Congratulations!
Thank you. So he's like been a little extra generous, which is nice as well. I think I heard you ask them about enhancements and things like that. So personally, for me, I don't upcharge for any tool that I need to access in my business. So I do cupping, gua sha. I use the Hypervolt massage gun. I have Hypervolt makes a heat and low back vibration belt
Oh wow.
that is like so nice when people get on the table. I've gotten away from using that because I just upgraded my table to have an infrared crystal therapy PEMF mat on the table.
I think
So does anybody know anything about that? Yeah, they're so high. Is it the higher dose mat?
No.
Okay, we'll have to talk. I want to know. I had a grounding mat on my table when I first started treatment, and I was going through with my rolly chair and broke the wire within 2 weeks of it being on my table.
Oh,
I had no way of like taping it down. I just kind of like let it go. It was very silly. But that was working well too. So I want people to feel like there's an added bonus to why they're paying the price that they're paying as well. You know, although I'm confident in if I was to just give them my hands-on skill that I am worth it and that I'm more than enough to charge for this service. But it's nice for people to feel like they're walking away with something. So I mentioned gua sha, cupping. Almost every single person gets some form of cupping if they see me at least more than once. The hypervolt, the low back belt. I feel like I'm missing something. The table itself. There might even be more that's not currently on the forefront of my mind, but I don't upcharge for any of that. Oh, pain creams. I use a CBD pain cream. It's $100 a bottle. I don't upcharge for that. I have rock tape in my facility. I'm rock tape certified. I don't upcharge for that. And that's the only one that I feel like I really should, but I don't, depending.
What
Please.
is rock tape?
Rock tape is like rock tape
Kinesiology tape.
or KT tape, right? It basically gives you a
yeah.
feedback and helps. It doesn't really actually help stabilize your joints, but it does help give feedback and proprioceptive awareness to that body part so that you're not hanging your shoulder. Say if you taped your shoulder, if I used it across the back, it might give you some feedback to be like, oh, I'm doing this all the time, like let me pull that up and back.
Okay.
So with all those enhancements, I don't upcharge at all. So I let people know that too. And if I have to use like 4 pieces of tape on you, I either really like you or I might say something. Hey, this tape is $8 a cut, and I'm now using the 4th piece of tape on them. Or just let them know that I can do this for you today, but to tape you up this much, it might cost them $20 next time.
Where did you get tape certified? KC tape certified?
Go on Rock Tape's website. They have like a level 1, level 2. I did mine in, where is that? Where's Baron Birch? It was like right next to Baron Birch. Is it Baron Birch? Freehold.
There you go.
Yeah, it was in Freehold.
never heard of it.
Yeah, you can with Rock Tape. Oh, that's awesome.
They started doing instrument assisted too.
Oh yeah.
So they started branching out, and they were like, "Well, we can do the one I was looking at was kind of like an all inclusive.
Yeah.
It was basically the level 1 rock tape was just like videos, and you could do it online. But then the other half was in class.
That's awesome. So worth it, by the way. If you're considering taping, especially if you're working with athletic pop or doing anything like that,
Right.
to me it's like gold.
Especially
Yeah. And something they gave us at the end of level 2 for rock tape was they call it rock floss or voodoo floss. It's basically a compression band. They gave us away one for free, and they showed us how to use it too. And I use that more in the clinic than I do the rock tape, and I paid $500 for the rock tape cert to use the free floss that they gave us. I use it all of the time.
It's usually how it works, right?
Yeah. It's basically, maybe I should have brought some of this stuff. It's like a compressive band. Say you were having an ankle. I seem to use it on the foot the most. Having like a foot or an ankle tightness. I would wrap your foot, take it and compress it and wrap it a little tighter the whole way up, maybe even up into the mid-calf, and then run you through some mobility to help open up and create some freedom in the ankle and things like that. Happens to work well, oddly, for like adhesive points too. I used it on somebody's foot where there's like a trigger in their plantar that just wasn't going away, and then 5 minutes of the rock floss and come back and it was like mush. I was like, don't even understand how that
That's
happened.
pretty cool.
Like, it's just not there now. It's just flowing tissue now. That almost never happens, but the fact that it happens sometimes is awesome.
That's cool. Anyone have any questions?
What's
Question.
it like working in a gym?
Loud.
That I know.
Nobody, nobody comes to relax.
If you really want to know Tiff, you can follow him on Instagram. Posts a lot of his content. I watch all the time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Posts a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
A quick question for you. What is the thing though that like I've seen you post a bunch where people put their legs in it? You know what I'm talking about? It's
Oh,
like black.
Normatec. Oh, that comes
Yeah.
with my session too.
I kind of thought that that's what you were missing because I've seen it a lot.
Thank you.
I got
Yes. It's an air compression therapy system. I love it. For me personally, like I would just buy one just to have one for me because of all the work that I do on myself. It's an air compression therapy system, so every one of my treatments comes with 15 minutes of Normatec as well. So I'm literally like just pumping the value out into these
Yeah.
people. So the most common one's a leg sleeve. You put it on your whole leg, you zip it up, and it hooks up to a mini air compressor, and it just fills up with air, squeezes and releases, squeezes and releases. I give everybody 15 minutes. You could literally sit on it for an hour if it was yours and you had nowhere else to go.
Before or after?
You could use it in pre-treatment. Like if I, for some reason, I had my own clinic and I had a line and people wanted to come early and sit on Normatec, I'm not going to say no to anybody helping me get the job done that I need to get done. So you could totally, you could totally do it. The only contraindication to Normatec is blood clotting. So if somebody has a history of blood clotting and you're creating compression and squeezing, you could shoot that blood clot. You know what happens after that, right? Yeah.
Heart attack and
Stroke, heart attack. Right? We don't like that.
No.
Not too good.
Nobody's gonna die today.
No, not today. Not today. So that I think, I mean, I happen to try and just bring as much value as I can. So I feel like I'm a little more free to talk now. I know you
Yeah.
in the spa. When I was in the spa, the one thing that I personally didn't like for what they did was that if Adam comes in, okay, and he's got the tightest back and traps that I've ever seen, and I thought, I wish I had this massage gun that we have up front to just help me break that down so that I'm not abusing my hands, and he likes it, it feels nice, and it's going to help me get the job done by opening up that first layer of just like dense tissue, because maybe Adam sits all day and works on his whatever, right? We can paint a story for Adam, but I know he's out there doing work. That would benefit you as a therapist, but they want the client to pay, and then they have this like it's for 2 to 3 zones, and if you want more zones, the enhancement is $30 for 6 zones. It just like it seems to me to be a little bit of like a play. For me, it's going to help me, and this is in my own clinic. If it's going to help me do the job I want to do, I don't want your payment restriction, your paywall, to stop me from what's going to help me help you.
Right.
So I'm going to go grab the massage gun when I feel it, I deem it necessary. I'm not going to upcharge you for cupping because I know here are the benefits of cupping. I've used cupping on people with your condition. So I'm not going to have you wait to pay me $20 when I know I can help you today with that cup, doing range of motion or whatever else you're doing with the cupping. So those are, that personally weren't working for myself. That's a benefit that I happen to enjoy. Gua Sha, the Normatec, yeah, I could upcharge for all of these things, but it's just come in and I will take care of you for this price. And I think people really do feel that. It's like just give as much value as you can. And I started to give you some ways to like go ahead and start to create that for yourself. Instagram, promote the shit out of yourself. Facebook, whatever your avenue of social media is. I told you I was a yoga instructor, so I went to yoga studios. I was in 3 different yoga studios, flyer up, massage guy. They put an email out to all their clients, and then I split with them. From there, I was getting private in-homes and still working at the yoga studios and working at a place, at a spa.
A spa.
So I told the spa, and this is something you have to look at if you go to a spa, is a non-compete deal. Because
Right.
if you get a client, so my spa was down the street from Whole Foods, right? And I used to work part-time at Whole Foods while I was working at the spa and while I was working here as well. I have like a small 2-minute story I want to tell you before I go to. And I was working there. But if I got a client at Whole Foods, now I'm in a non-compete with Massage Envy Seeger, which is 2 miles from Whole Foods. And now that client I got, they could literally take up a prosecution in some way or really just make it annoying for
Right.
you to take the client. And I was also working at the Atlantic Club at the time, personal training, which was down the street. So I gave them a deal. I told them I would leave the Atlantic Club, but I would continue to bring in clients that I knew from the personal area that were my own and take them on my own and promote to the local yoga studios. And I said, there's no chance I'm signing your non-compete. This is my agreement. And if you want me to work here, this is what I'm going to do. And I worked there for 8 months. So please consider yourself. I've been in a non-compete for longer than that. They said 5 years, and they can't actually hold you to that,
Right.
by the way, I found out. So
Doesn't hold up in court.
don't let anything like that scare you, but you should be weary signing your name to shit at all. Okay, so don't just willingly sign your name to stuff.
And we're gonna have a whole business class tomorrow where we're gonna talk about all these
Yeah.
things in detail.
Yeah. Do I have my
Yeah.
phone?
What's your insurance?
It's on that card I
I was
gave you.
gonna say,
Did you
yeah.
get a card for me?
No, sir.
She was in the bathroom. Wasn't done on purpose.
I want to take it.
I told him to skip.
So let me. Oh, something about the card. I used this little $10 off on a. We had 143 athletes at our gym for a CrossFit event a few months back, and I put the little $10 off that. I made that back in June. I happen to have some left, so I know it says December, and I know that's soon. But if you want to come in, there's a little $10 off fee in there for you as well, and then all my information's on there. You can text me.
Right.
Or is anyone else curious about starting up or anything like that?
Who's
Any
got
other
questions for
questions?
Ryan before we
Where
talk
are
to
you
Jennifer?
located?
I'm in Lakewood,
Oh.
so I'm
Can
right
we put
across
your-
the
oh, you
street.
got-
Do you know where Trader Joe's is in
Yep.
Brick? 2 minutes down the road on Oberlin. And I have a story. Do I have 1 second? Is that
No,
okay?
Go ahead, you're fine.
Oh.
I just came back to listen because I love listening.
Oh, perfect.
Before Jennifer tells you her story.
I have
Okay.
a small story about being in your position that I posted this on a Facebook group I was in, about being in your position, being really down and out, and being in a really amazing position today. I feel like it's a little inspiring. For me, it was really hard to get out of the position I was in, but through COVID and everything, I ended up paying off $40,000 in debt, and now I live on my own. I support my family. I have a baby on the way. I work in my own business, still expanding my business. I made the most I ever made in my entire life just back in October, which was 4 times more than what I was making monthly before that, working at least the same amount of hours, if not more, only getting 5 hours of sleep a night. So I feel like it's a little inspiring. So if I may, it should be. Okay. Around this time, now I just posted this 2 weeks ago. so
Where did
it's-
you post it?
It was in a Facebook group for the Undare page. The name of the gym I work at is CrossFit Undare. Okay. Around this time last year, I was living in my cousin's basement in Jackson, in a room half the size of my office. For reference, my office is only 165 square feet, so small to begin with. I was working a full-time job, personal training at the Atlantic Club, and a part-time job at Whole Foods in the kitchen. On top of teaching yoga, I had around 5 classes a week, and I was going to school 3 nights a week. and doing hands-on clinics every other Saturday and Sunday, back-to-back 8-hour days, which you guys know very well. And then the pandemic broke. Luckily for me, I was shot out, but still surviving. I had worked 93 days in a row without a day off. Trust me, this was no consolation prize, but I had a goal. Get the fuck out of debt fast. Fast forward into November.
Forgive the language, please.
Yes. It's just, this is real world.
Yeah, I was
right
in
now.
we're so,
Yeah, we say that word.
Still, still in, fast forward to last November, still in the basement. By the way, the room was so small that I was sleeping on the floor and I had my furniture stacked up on top of one another. I had picked up 60 hours plus at Whole Foods, now working in every other department in the store because all my other jobs had closed down because of the pandemic. Teaching yoga online 3 times a week and still doing massage school at night online as well. Here we are 1 year later. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment in Avon by the Sea, 2 blocks from the ocean. I own my own bodywork business. I'm in love and have a baby on the way. And for the first time, I feel like I not only see, but I know balance in my life, and I'm happier than I've ever been in a long time. Oh, in that debt, I paid off 3 credit cards and a whole student loan. So
That's
if
wonderful.
I can do it, you can do it too. So,
And look at this, you have a $10 off coupon. You gotta go
Yes.
make an appointment and go.
right.
yeah.
Gotta go
Get a
see what it's all
service.
about.
That's
Follow.
beautiful.
Yeah, thanks. So, that's scary, and it forces people to do crazy things. I think I was working like 85 hours a week, or something ridiculous. But it seemed like the only way for me, so.
And Ryan was kind enough a couple times to come in and jump in when I was out and assist Jesse or come in and talk to the night class and keep things going when I had a couple of health challenges last year.
If you have any
So-
questions or just want help or just inspiration or motivation,
Or just take one of his
Happy
online
to.
yoga classes,
Right.
yeah,
right?
please, yeah.
Thank you, Ryan.
Connect
you.
up.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
All right, you have his card, you have his number.
This
He's
is your
he's
cell
a
phone number?
colleague.
Yeah,
He's a
that's my
friend.
personal number. You can